This girl is a total pervert. She loves secretly noting down other people's account passwords, then logs in at home to spy on them. She mocks their privacy to satisfy herself. It gives her a twisted sense of fulfillment. Now she's targeting the class idol. She wants to uncover secrets about Ray, the gentle and handsome class president. Little does she know, this idea will ruin her completely. She's thinking about how to steal Ray's password. Suddenly she remembers tomorrow's computer class. Got it, she comes up with a daring plan. The next day arrives. She pretends to act on behalf of the class president, and tricks the teacher into giving her the computer room key. She rushes to the computer room. There are still 6 minutes until class starts. If she acts quickly, and plugs the virus USB into Ray's computer, she can install the hacker software in time. But the school's internet is slow. The software download is taking longer than expected. She checks the time, 4 minutes left. Some classmates will arrive soon. The girl starts panicking. Hurry up. Then a voice calls out. Xiao Sao, what are you doing? It's Ray, he came early. Ray's eyes are sharp, and filled with a menacing aura. That's my seat. Your seat is beside mine. Xiao Sao freezes in panic. Cold sweat streams down her face. Ray moves closer. What were you doing on my computer? Why aren't you answering me? Xiao Sao, guilty as charged, stammers nervously. She finally makes up an excuse. I was downloading a game. Really? Can I see which game? Ray steps closer, about to see the screen. Software is 95% downloaded. If Ray discovers it, Xiao Sao doesn't dare to imagine. But then Ray suddenly covers his nose and mouth. He smells that awful stench again, coming from Xiao Sao. He doesn't want to get any closer. Ray says he left something in the classroom. He said he needed to go back to get something. Before leaving, he told Xiao Sao to uninstall the game. By then the software had finished installing. Xiao Sao agreed verbally. Her face showed a twisted smile. Now she could uncover Ray's secrets. When class started, Xiao Sao spied on Ray's computer. She noticed Ray didn't log into his usual account. Instead, he entered a different one. What's going on? Just as he was about to log in, Ray suddenly stopped. He muttered, no, that's not it. That was close, it almost caused big trouble. Xiao Sao thought to herself, Ray has 2 accounts? How cute. After school, Xiao Sao eagerly rushed home to her computer. She couldn't wait any longer. Opening the notepad, it listed the passwords for both accounts. Xiao Sao decided to check the new account first. What had Ray bought online? What had he commented on? She was overjoyed. Xiao Sao opened the logs, and decided to start from there. But in the next second her pupils contracted. What is this? Recorded and sold private videos? Xiao Sao couldn't believe it. Could the hacking software have been wrong? The sunny, handsome class president Ray was selling private videos he secretly filmed? How could this be? Could his account have been hacked? Xiao Sao kept digging, but suddenly her vision darkened. She found a diary entry. My deskmate, Ray's deskmate? That's me. She opened the diary. Inside filled with bad words about her. My deskmate smells really pungent. And the smell is just like my mom's. I was almost suffocated sitting next to her. I need to sell more videos quickly. And move to a place far away, where no one knows me. Xiao Sao's eyes widened like saucers. To Ray, she was just a smelly deskmate. Thinking of his deodorant habit. It was because of me. Xiao Sao fell silent. She went to the bathroom and started scrubbing herself furiously. Washing her hands 5 times. Washed her hair 3 times. Even though she ended up soaking wet, she didn't care. The next day, at school, Ray greeted her warmly as usual. Looking at his sunny demeanor, Xiao Sao thought if only that account wasn't his. If only Ray were just a kind, gentle model student. Just then Xiao Sao's pen fell. She bent down to pick it up, still imagining that the diary wasn't written by Ray. Maybe it was just someone hacking his account. Then one of her hairs brushed against Ray. Ray immediately recoiled, looking at Xiao Sao bowing her head. A wave of disgust surged in his heart. He pulled out his deodorant and started spraying. He didn't expect Xiao Sao to look up right then. Ray's disgusted expression, mixed with the deodorant spray, appeared before Xiao Sao. In that instant, Xiao Sao couldn't tell if his look was real or fake. Her eyes stung from the spray and she wanted to get angry. But hearing Ray's gentle apology, she decided to let it go. Xiao Sao asked Ray what he was having for lunch. He answered soft tofu soup. For the first time Xiao Sao mustered the courage to ask if she could have lunch with him. But after the words left her mouth, Ray fell silent, perhaps because her eyes were still blurry. She thought his expression had changed. It looked like he wasn't smiling anymore. When her vision cleared, she froze. Xiao Sao saw Ray's eyes, filled with disdain and contempt for her. This was Ray's true face. After school Xiao Sao stormed home angrily. That's right, she wanted revenge on Ray. Xiao Sao turned on her computer and created a new account. She uploaded all of Ray's dirty deeds and his real address, and sent it to Ray with a mocking tone. After doing all of this, Xiao Xiao's face lit up with a deranged smile. From now on, don't ever expect to have peace. She couldn't wait to see what kind of expression Ray would have tomorrow. The next day the teacher started roll call in class. But when Ray's name was called, no one responded. Ray didn't come to school. Looking at the empty seat, Xiao Xiao thought, was he scared? Never mind, he'll probably come tomorrow. Xiao Xiao didn't think much of it. But from that day on, Ray never appeared again. He had completely vanished. Ray's parents came to the school. His mother cried, "Our Ray is a good boy. He would never run away from home. Something must have happened to him." The teacher comforted Ray's parents and reminded the students that gym class was ending soon. "Let's go to the office first." Just as they were leaving, the students returned. Amid the crowd, Xiao Xiao noticed Ray's parents. They looked so elegant and refined, radiating confidence and class. She thought of her own father. The difference was like night and day. As Ray's parents left, they passed by Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao took a sniff and thought they smelled so nice. At lunchtime, Xiao Xiao checked the day's menu. Today it was duck soup. Then she noticed the menu from the 5th. Soft tofu soup. The dish served the day Ray disappeared. Now it was already the 12th. He had been missing for a week. When Xiao Xiao got home, she lay on her bed lost in thought. Where could Ray be now? Her father hadn't been home for days either. Gradually she drifted off to sleep. But behind her, a shadow approached her bedside. The next morning, sunlight poured onto Xiao Xiao's face. What a beautiful day, she thought. But suddenly Xiao Xiao realized, the sunlight in her house was never this bright. She looked closely. Where is this place? It's a completely unfamiliar environment. Is this a dream? As Xiao Xiao was lost in her thoughts, footsteps sounded from outside the door. Someone was coming. She held her breath immediately. Then a secret compartment on the door opened. A hand reached in and threw a plate of food onto the floor. Food? Xiao Xiao was bewildered. After the footsteps faded away, Xiao Xiao ran to the door. The door wouldn't budge. Even the handle was sealed shut. Then there was the food tray. Squid soup? Isn't this from the school cafeteria? What's going on? Xiao Xiao laid flat on the floor, peering through the food slot. She wanted to see who it was. But when she looked out, she was stunned. It was pitch black outside. She couldn't see anything. Time passed slowly. At first Xiao Xiao thought it was a dream. But she finally realized the truth. She was trapped here. Everything in the room was fixed in place. The table, the computer, even the keyboard was glued down. Xiao Xiao curled up on the bed, overwhelmed by fear. Who could have done this to her? Was she going to be killed here? Where was she? What day was it? As Xiao Xiao's mind raced in confusion, a sound caught her attention. The digital clock on the desk lit up. At the same time, the computer powered on. The desktop background was the school cafeteria menu. Then the notepad opened on its own, and slowly typed 2 words. Sit down. Xiao Xiao trembled all over. Is this talking to me? The monitor's cables led to the next room. Someone was controlling the computer from there. Looking at the words on the screen, Xiao Xiao hesitated for a moment. But she shakily walked to the computer. Who could it be? Wait, she thought of someone. Xiao Xiao slowly typed 5 words into the notepad. Are you Lu Ray? Peeved. The person next door chuckled. They didn't answer her question. Instead they typed back, haha. You can try any way you want to escape. I'll be right here cheering you on. After saying this, the person erased the notepad. There was no further response. Xiao Xiao's hair stood on end. Right next to her, separated by just a wall, someone was watching her. To this person, she was just an opponent who couldn't fight back. Their words echoed. Try anything you can. Xiao Xiao opened the browser. She wanted to see if the computer had internet access. To her surprise, the computer was online. Is this kidnapper careless? If I figure out my location, I can call the police. As Xiao Xiao thought this, her hands froze. Wait, this person isn't stupid. What if it's a trap? If I search, they might kill me. After hesitating for a moment, Xiao Xiao clicked search. Whatever. After all, they told me to try to escape. But when the location results appeared, she was stunned. Xiao Xiao, unwilling to give up, searched again. This time it said she was in England. The next second it switched to the USA. It was clear the location had been tampered with. She tried posting on a forum, but every time she did, the computer crashed. Xiao Xiao was in despair, staring at the world beyond the bars. She drooled mindlessly. I might as well jump out and end it. None of this is real, right? Losing her grip on reality, Xiao Xiao started doubting the buildings outside. The ground itself seemed fake. If this isn't a dream, I'm going to die. But if it's not a dream... Wait, Xiao Xiao suddenly realized something. If the street view is real, then she quickly opened the computer. She planned to use the map to locate herself. starting with the area near her house. Xiao Sao methodically searched through the map, muttering to herself, I was just here a few hours ago. Suddenly she froze, her eyes widening. What is that? On the screen Xiao Sao saw a shadowy figure. Zooming in, it was a man staring directly at her. Xiao Sao froze, she understood now. That person knew everything. They knew all of her thoughts. The shadowy figure on the screen, smirking cruelly, seemed to mock her. Foolish lowly human. You'll never escape my grasp. You look so pitiful. Let me personally show you the way G1 road. Following the figure's gesture, Xiao Sao continued scrolling. It felt like a silent conversation had begun between them. Xiao Sao questioned him, am I that ridiculous? The shadow didn't speak, but his mocking smile said it all. Yes, ridiculous, his laugh echoed. And the screen swirled and reset. It returned to its original position. Xiao Sao broke down. Her emotions spiraled out of control. She ran to the door, grabbed the food tray, and smashed it into the computer with all her strength. Still unsatisfied, she continued striking. Through this violent outburst she vented her fear, her anxiety and all her emotions. Xiao Sao was beginning to lose her sanity. Standing by the window, she pounded on the bars with her fists. Even as her hands bled, she didn't care, she just wanted out. In desperation she even considered jumping. She picked up a shard of the broken computer, planning to cut through the bars. But as soon as she raised her hand, a mysterious gas began filling the room. It was the shadowy figure. He was stopping Xiao Sao. In her last moments of consciousness, Xiao Sao screamed, you despicable coward. As she passed out, Xiao Sao's mind suddenly returned to the campus. As she entered the classroom she ran into Ray. Good morning. Ray greeted her as usual, with his same warm and sunny demeanor. Xiao Sao responded faintly, but Ray's tone suddenly changed. Don't you hate filthy semi-basement you used to live in? What? Xiao Sao was taken aback. Ray walked straight toward her, pulling out his deodorant. He spoke calmly. Don't you think places filled with sunlight are nice? Because there it doesn't matter if you invade someone's privacy, or ruin someone's life. Seeing this side of Ray, Xiao Sao was at a loss for words. Ray continued to mock her. Don't you also hate your smelly father? Nothing changes. Deodorant sprayed directly onto Xiao Sao's face. Water droplets reflected Ray's expression. Nothing changes. It's all the same. The computer on the desk was back to normal. Why even bother with that person? Even if I get out, what's next? I have no friends. I barely go outside anyway. And here at least there's no stench from my father. And I get food and shelter. Thinking this, Xiao Sao gave up entirely. She closed her eyes and went back to sleep. Meanwhile at school, a girl in front of Xiao Sao forgot her Chinese textbook today. Afraid of being scolded by the teacher, she planned to borrow one from one of the missing classmates. Her deskmate joked about Ray and Xiao Sao disappearing together. Could something be going on between them? The moment the words left her mouth, she regretted it. How could I insult Ray like that? Her deskmate asked, whose book will you use? Xiao Sao's? How embarrassing. The girl's expression immediately soured. No way. Of course I'll use Ray's. Outside the classroom, the homeroom teacher was calling Xiao Sao's father. She had been trying to reach him for 2 days. Finally the call connected. Hello? Who's this? She explained why she was calling again today. But the father didn't respond. He quietly smoked his cigarette, listening to the teacher continue. Skipping school will affect her future prospects. Xiao Sao doesn't seem like the type to skip school. Before she could finish her sentence, Xiao Sao's father interrupted her. Blowing out a puff of smoke he said, Xiao Sao's father? And then? What? The cold tone left the teacher momentarily stunned. Xiao Sao's father continued, so what? The teacher hesitated. She stammered, I'm wondering if something happened. By then Xiao Sao's father had finished his cigarette. After a moment of silence, he said calmly, Xiao Sao is just sick. I'm taking care of her. When she recovers I'll send her back to school. So you don't need to worry about it. Back in Xiao Sao's room, she had just woken up. After sleeping all day her body felt sore and achy. She was even a little bored. She began to wonder why she was here. What had she done wrong? And that dream from earlier, was it trying to tell her something? Wait, Xiao Sao suddenly remembered the message she had sent to Ray. Could it be because of that? She rushed to the computer. Let's check, she thought. Logging into that account again, she noticed she had one unread message. Opening it, she found one sentence. You need to figure out why you're there. Xiao Sao froze. Was it Ray? Why? Was it because of that message? Xiao Sao chuckled. It's clearly your fault. What does this have to do with me? Exactly. Xiao Sao didn't feel she had done anything wrong. She opened Ray's logs. Are you so scared that I found out who you really are? Do you think locking me up will make everything you did disappear? But the logs were completely empty. Nothing remained. The records had been deleted. Xiao Sao wasn't surprised. She had anticipated this on the internet. Everything leaves traces. She opened the drafts folder and found the drafts. There were 17 records in total. Meanwhile, the mysterious figure monitoring her noted her actions. He sighed, good thing I brought her here. Among the logs from December 12th, the drafts were filled with Ray's entries. One entry at 12:14 a.m. caught Xiao Sao's attention. Parental qualifications. It contained 2 lines. To be a good parent, you can't cry, and you have to come home early. When Ray was young, his father had an affair, often coming home late or not at all. His mother spent her days in tears. Her endless sobbing. It drove him mad. One time during exams, Ray purposely scored 51 points. That morning he had seen his father's car at school. After parking, his father left, and a woman in the car was putting on makeup. Ray knew that even if he scored 100 that day, his mother wouldn't be happy. That was Ray's childhood. After reading, Xiao Sao scoffed, what a lunatic. But her lips curled into a smile. She began laughing. Xiao Sao didn't feel sympathy for Ray. She thought it was hilarious. If Ray had grown up in my family environment, he'd be crying every day. Ha ha ha, even better, Xiao Sao thought. She realized something about Ray. This secret seemed to be hers alone. It felt exhilarating. At this moment, her twisted pleasure in mocking others' privacy was immensely satisfied. She decided to keep reading. She wanted to uncover all of Ray's secrets. But just then the alarm went off. It was 5 p.m. Her computer suddenly lost control. The black-clad figure regained control. He erased the screen and opened a notepad. Slowly he typed 2 words. Eat dinner. Xiao Sao froze. How can I eat in this situation? This psycho is torturing me again. Xiao Sao typed back on the computer. You're Ray, aren't you? Black-clad figure just smirked, ignoring her. Instead he began sending emoji after emoji. The emoji's smirking faces reminded Xiao Sao of the figure on the map. Damn it, Xiao Sao cursed at the lunatic. She even thought about smashing the screen again. But then a line of text appeared on the screen. Let me tell you something important. Meanwhile, back with Xiao Sao's father, he entered Xiao Sao's room. The room was cluttered with junk, but still bore traces of Xiao Sao's life. However, he didn't mention Xiao Sao. Instead, he inexplicably muttered, the smell is gone. Maybe there's no need to call the police.